2, 1. We are live. Welcome to Wake and Bake with the Growskis, number 17. Sorry, Scobo, I took it.
That's good.
We're sitting here with Scobo, Tara, Dan, and the chat. Good morning, everyone. It's 6 o'clock. I did a dab of the Yeti cake, and it got me got the mouth moving, thankfully.
Let me do this. Good morning, rise and grind. Welcome to Wake and Bake with the Growskis.
See, we needed that. You're better. You're better at it than me.
Good morning. How's everybody today?
I am doing excellent. Good morning, Tara. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, chat. Chat says they're tired. That's expected. We're doing the Wake and Bake show too early in the morning.
Good morning, chat.
Why it's a Wake and Bake.
I see we have the diehard.
That's right.
Diehards here this morning so far.
Gotta get our
huge shout out to Trey Valone. I see him. He was first today. LG 420. Good morning. High and tight. Back for some more. Voodoo Ultras. What's happening? Broccoli and cheese. Lori came back for another dose. And who else do we have in here? I see this Tara Wilson person, but we're cool. We can shout her out this time. She flooded the chat, man. DOG, what's up?
Flooding the chat.
Flooding the chat, man. Good Rich, how you doing? I am smoking on some Citro Blue to start my day.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, darn it. I had some of that.
I see Lori and I are smoking the same thing. It's not for the same.
I just transplanted a bunch of cuts of Citro Blue, well, clones now. They're rooted into solo cups yesterday. So I got more Citro Blue coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, man.
Not to mention the giant greenhouse plant, of course. It's probably like 6 foot by 6 foot by 8 foot now.
It's a monster.
Yeah, man. I took pictures of the greenhouse plants with the camera yesterday. They're very frosty already early this year, so I'm excited to see what they do. Getting leaves everywhere, though. Annoying. You know, the outdoor additional leaves added to everything, so.
Well, you're not having any problems mulching your outdoor plants then. I'm sure you've
Hell
got a nice
no.
bed going on underneath there.
Dude, I'll be standing in front of one plant cutting leaves off, and I'll try to put all those leaves in the same pot, you know, and you can't.
There's too many of them.
Too many. I'll fill up like 4 pots around me with leaves, and then I gotta move on to another plant, and then.
Now, did you take the all of your autos down now, or you still have a few rocking and rolling?
We had enough autos where we're taking them down in kind of stages, and then we planted them in stages too, so it's working really well. We probably have, I think we had 25 to harvest. We harvested like 4 or 5 more yesterday, and we had harvested some already. It's working really well. It's maintaining. Here, let me pull it up on my phone while I'm talking and try to.
You have numbers.
Yeah, give you some numbers. Pretty excited
Those
about
digits,
the way it's 62 degrees and 63% humidity right now.
That is just about where you want to be right there.
So here's the daytime graph, temp and humidity.
Yeah.
Which is very good. So it looks like a big jump there, but that top scale is from 61 to 65 degrees. So it barely moved. And then the bottom is
relative humidity.
Yeah, the humidity. So
yeah,
very stable.
How much change do you get when it rains?
It rained yesterday, actually. There's a dehumidifier in there, so it should
Just
keep
one?
it down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the humidity didn't even go up yesterday. So this is the whole day yesterday. The bottom graph is humidity. Where it opened is when I put more plants in there.
Changed the temperature in there.
Putting more wet plants in there didn't even raise the humidity. So rain didn't do it for sure.
Did it rain all day too?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, there's a dehumidifier in there that's plumbed to, it's got a hose on it and it runs right outside. So it could run 24/7 and we wouldn't know the difference. There's a heater, dehumidifier. The plants are the humidity. We don't have to worry about adding a humidifier, but we have the heat, AC, and the dehumidifier in there. And then a circulating fan is in there as well.
Not blowing on the buds.
No, it's just I just got one of those box fans and put it on the floor and just turned it on low, so it's just kicking air around, blowing at the wall.
No dead spots.
Anvil is probably 3 or 4 days away from starting to trim. That was the first ones we took down, so really excited.
That's going to be really. That's a photogenic plant.
It is. I just took down the last one yesterday, chopped it down and hung it up.
Now, do you seem to lose some of the vibrance and color as it dries?
It seems to get darker, but I think that's because the leaves and stuff that are around it get lighter. I'll let you know. It looks like it's going to be real dark, real dark.
Yeah, some of those are almost black.
Cool.
It's much darker than the plant that's behind my head. This is Trop Cookies. The Anvil gets like pink and purple trichomes, so it gets a lot more of that color. The Trop Cookies just looks like a purple bud that you rolled around.
It was almost
sugar.
burgundy. I felt like some of them kind of were a real deep burgundy. They were fucking beautiful.
Right.
Eggplant.
Yeah, I really like that one. That's just really
Awesome macro shots.
eye-catching.
And the structure really lent itself well to growing in Michigan outdoors. So the Anvil, like overall, got very little mold and stuff like that, which is ideal. So we plan on growing a lot more of it in the greenhouse. I think it did better than the rest of the auto strains.
The buds are all a nice size. It's not like it's a bunch of little teeny grape nuts that you have to turn into a bowl or a joint. And it filled out the stick all the way. You know what I mean?
It's a little bit airier than like the other ones, but because of that, it survived better. So you just got to take it with it's not the good with the bad. It's just the good in that scenario.
Sure, what good is a bunch of dense bud when it gets a bunch of botrytis or bud rot or whatever you want to call it? And you're like, well, fuck. I just spent the last 100 days growing something that looks really good, but now I can't do anything with it.
Oh, man, dude. So obviously we're doing a little bit of the mentorship thing and showing fresh cut the bud rot and cutting it off and explaining to them that you can't keep it and you can't really do anything with it and et cetera. And it was
edible or anything.
It was a bummer day. No, not really.
No.
So like the mold and stuff, the spores and everything is smaller than bubble bags. They'll wash into everything.
No, I didn't even think of that portion.
Yeah.
Never mind.
It's a frustrating problem, but it's a thing. It's an outdoor normalcy here in Michigan. Everyone that's grown an outdoor plant has seen it. So we're adding heat to the greenhouse.
How are you going to achieve that?
We got a quote.
Let your words heat my grow space, baby.
Yeah. We called a professional. That's the nice thing about it being legal here in Michigan is you go, you want to have a guess on how much heat you need to heat a greenhouse? BTUs. Roughly 250,000 BTUs for our greenhouse. So like we need a quote for a 250,000 BTU whatever. And a pellet stove system is going to be about 10 grand, but we're looking at I can't remember what he called it exactly. It's a propane fed thing, but it's not an open flame burner. So it's not going to add humidity. Okay. It's it heats a coil of some sort. And then with that coil, it radiates heat. So it won't add humidity everywhere. So really, really excited about that. That was much cheaper too. So we will see. Hopefully we'll have that before these plants are down.
It would definitely be beneficial now, or you're going to wait another 10 months before you install it again. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, man. Here we are, another Thursday morning. 10 minutes past the hour, and away we go. I see we got 28 people chilling with us now. Chat is rocking and rolling. Yeah, man. Question in chat is, would a pellet burner alter the aroma of the finished flower at all?
I wouldn't think so because it vents everything outside. but things will alter the smell. So anything that sulfur burners, especially known for, like Dirty QWERTY was saying in chat, very well known for altering the smell of flowers. Don't use sulfur in flour. Like basement smell. You ever smell bud that smells like basement? That's where it came from. So they're very sensitive to that sort of thing. So you definitely got to be prepared. But a well-sealed pellet system shouldn't vent any smoke or any smell inside of that space. Also, if we were going to use a pellet system, it would be outside of the room. It would be in its own building, plumbed through a radiator into the greenhouse. So the greenhouse would just have a radiator with a fan blowing over it. There would be no potential for any smell.
That's why the system's so expensive, is because you're talking about basically an outbuilding and
Right.
everything else.
Yeah. I think the stupid boiler unit's like 10 grand. And you got to get some sort of a shed to stick it in and then plumb it. And...
Good times, good times.
But that would be the ideal. That'd be the ideal scenario.
Dan dropped out for a minute. He will be back. He's having some technical difficulties on his end, so he didn't just bail on us.
Hurry back. Hurry back.
Baby, come back.
Morning, Porch Farmer. Morning, Cheer Bros.
Good morning.
Yeah, man. So, Terry, you were telling us before this show. There you go. You got your cue right there.
Yep. Fighting my GMO right now.
Ooh, EC Gorilla asked a question that I know the answer to. Says,
cool.
I've been hearing this question recently, and I know it's old school, but cannot find out what it means. What is Paclo? From what I've been able to tell, it's super dense with minimal cannabinoids. So Paclo is actually the name of a PGR, and Paclo bud used to be the name of bud that was sprayed with this PGR. So if you see Paclo bud, that shit will give you cancer. That's what that means. If you look up Paclo, let me try to figure out the full name of it, but it's a PGR product.
Who was it recently that we were talking to that didn't know what PGR bud was? I can't remember who that was when we showed him the picture. Was it Fresh Cut? Was he the one? No.
Lots of people, really.
I can't remember. Yeah.
I don't remember, but I do remember talking about it.
You know what it looks like when you see it. Yeah.
Yeah, but if, nobody's explained it to you, then, it just would look like somebody's, manicured some bud up real nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to your story now.
Yeah. If y'all would hush up and let me talk. You always got to pipe in about what y'all know and stuff. So, all right. So my GMO is giving me major trouble because coming off of the grow off, there's a huge difference. Obviously I still feel like, I'm back to square one again, growing, because obviously I can use the first grow as an example, but there's huge growth that needs to be done on my part in learning. So trying to get the feel of this plant is really, because each one is so different. The GG4 doesn't give me any trouble. Very minimal watering, but the GMO is just one thing will not do one thing, and then the other thing pisses her off. And so I was successfully able to raise my light up some more, which I didn't think that I would be able to do because of the ballast. I didn't think I would have enough space in between, but I did. I think I was able to raise it like almost 4.5 inches. So I thought that was a considerable amount. So I did do that, and then she got whacked again, kind of. I really started getting discolored, started turning like almost auburn, like she was like coming into like the end stages of like flowering and stuff, how, the leaves started turning and stuff. So then I was like, well, am I not feeding it enough? Am I not watering enough? So I raised the light. We started with that, and now I gave her a really good feeding, and I got her really good and trimmed up, and I'm going to try to let the GG4 catch up with her and try to keep them a little bit kind of symmetrical somewhat. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep them in the same tent together just because they're just hugely different. And one's a huge tree and the other one's a small bush.
Just going to have to scrog them.
No, I definitely plan on doing that this time. That will definitely be in the picture, but there's just, I mean, the GMO's as tall as I am again. And
Is
I mean,
the GMO in its finished pot? Like, are you in your final size pot with that? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's in 5-gallon pots except the babies. So, but yeah, I mean, when I was standing in there next to her the other day, I was like, shit, she's as big as I am again. So I whacked her again, and we'll try to get her under control, and then hopefully I can flip her to flower because she really needs to go to flower. She's getting like, I don't know, or she's very woody, and I don't know enough about it to try to correct it. I guess.
Just the bottom that's woody.
No.
Are you finding that it's
no, but it's sporadic throughout. At the top, there's great spots in some spots, and then there's a few like, you know, little woody places, but I've been like whacking them off because they've been like
off the plant.
Damn it.
You see that look?
Every time. So, but yeah, I've been clipping them little stems off there. How about that one?
Perfect. I was reading, waiting for chat's reaction.
Oh, I'm waiting. Let's see who's awake to catch my whacking off the plant.
Gotta do the two for just in case.
I've got one more cool story. So I'm a huge baseball fan, and I have been like sorely missing baseball. And I happened to be downtown Cincinnati Saturday night walking around, and happened to be a doubleheader that night against the Cubs. And just when I was passing by, one of our players, Joey Votto, cracked a home run. Fireworks go off, and, you know, obviously I'm up in the air, you know, everybody's outside, you know, walking around, hooting and hollering for him and stuff. So no sooner do I turn around, the home run ball popped through the door and into my hand. So as of right now, I might be the only one to have a home run ball from the Cincinnati Reds this year.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Down there on the Pete Rose way.
So, Joey Votto, baby.
You get the Votto COVID ball.
Yeah, that's what I was getting.
COVID ball.
COVID ball.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, there's no fans at any of the games, so
it's crazy. Yeah.
Nope.
That's pretty neat.
Yay, he's back.
I'd like to welcome Dankman Dan to the broadcast.
Hey guys, thought I'd show up this morning since you guys woke up. Sorry about that. Hope it's better.
That's right.
Is it better for you?
Yeah, hopefully it's better for you, Dan, but
I can hear you guys. Yay, I couldn't hear you.
Cool, perfect.
Sorry about that. Last thing I heard, Tara was jacking off plants.
Hell, I gotta jack them off, you know.
Whacking them off.
Whacking them off.
Sorry, I guess.
Going through the big.
She was whacking off plants and catching balls.
I know, catching balls and whacking plants.
The plants.
Consonants matter.
Oh, Tara.
Dabbing Dro's PTSD. Thank you, Dro.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dro.
That didn't last long.
We all thank you.
It didn't last long, but I got some more. So,
dude, my little collection that I have of stuff. This looks like brand new still, and I've probably had a few out of it. But let me just show this off since none of you guys have anything left to show.
That's how much I've got left.
Okay. Smells amazing.
We're the rationers of the bunch.
Oh, yeah, I was getting them yesterday. I was talking about doing the hat trick of dabs before I left for work. So I did. What did I do? I did the Earth OG by Red, and then I followed it up with Dab Smith's Herkel, which is a CBD, and which still cracks sequence up that I still have that because I've had that forever. but it's
Most
like
of these dabs you
super
list
great.
here are all in the same tier to me. So I know when you got specific jars, so it's really funny when you bring them up because
Exactly.
it's been about a year now.
Exactly. Yeah. We got the Herkel was when the show was at the Russell, remember? So that would be, that's over a year ago now. If you take care of them, go ham on them. It's all good.
I've got a jar that I've had for about a year. I'm saving, but it's for baked. He goes, you got to keep the Dogman Troop Raspberry Chems from when he came up here and visited.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's coming up on a year.
I have it here.
Wow.
That was really good too.
Yeah, ain't nothing hang out in my house for a year.
No.
There's
Only
literally
if it
one
falls into
dab.
Yeah.
One dab of raspberry chem.
That's all you get, bro.
But that's the stuff that Baked bought when he was up here, and he goes, you got to save me a dab of it because he bought 2 packs of the seeds and he wants to try pheno hunting it. He goes, I need to find that raspberry chem. So shout out to Dogman. You made wax so good that my buddy bought 2 packs of seeds. He's going to pheno hunt it, and he's going to try to replicate the same thing.
He's chasing your flavors.
Yeah. All because Dogman couldn't get him a cut, and he tried too, so thank you.
Good stuff.
Well, the third dab that I did for my hat trick was another oldie but goodie. It's MI No-Till Guy and Canna Kitten. They're drop cookies. So to me, that's just like crazy good. The flavor on that one's huge. So
I agree. I just finished smoking my version of their trop cookies not that long ago. I found my jar. It was just hidden in my bag or whatever. And I was like, oh.
Most pleasant of surprises.
Yeah. Because, I forgot that they put their trop cookies in my black jar that was empty, my infinity jar. And I thought the jar was empty, so it was just chilling in my bag. And then I opened it, and I was like, oh, there's 2, nice-sized dabs in here. So that was that. And then while we're talking about trop cookies, that plant is huge. My impression of it when I grew it indoors was that the buds were small, which is fine. I expected that with the cookies lineage. But outdoors, the plant is just a giant. So hopefully it's a giant plant covered in small buds. We might not get that mold problem.
See, everybody wants the big buds until you grow outdoors.
I'm gonna have some crazy colas. I was taking pictures of them yesterday. They're about 10 inches tall already, and stacked up, the little white fuzzy balls.
Yeah.
Excited, super excited.
Yeah.
Fuzzy balls.
We're pretty stacked
off colas
in the greenhouse too. Everything's putting on bud sites are definitely set. I think the stretch is over and it's just total bud production.
Is your plant frosty?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a frosty plant to begin with. We had grown it out indoors before, so we knew what to expect with this one. It was our frostiest pheno, so we're pretty curious about what it produces outdoors. It's really trichome rail leaves.
nice. So I have some outdoors that don't seem to be very frosty, and then some that are super frosty. Like the Crescendo definitely translates outside, and the Death Star Mac is obviously frosty. But it'll be interesting because it seems like some of them don't necessarily grow the same.
Yeah, and I don't see any PM issues on this big old plant at all. I have no, none at all. I've never seen any all season. I have a grow off plant, the pineapple Thai out there, my tall pheno. It's finishing up out there. It's doing really good. A little bit behind the original plant because it was transferred outside, but it's bud production. And then I have another one, platinum purple, out there. This pheno I've never grown out before, so we'll see what it does.
Who is the showstopper in your space when you go out there?
Divine Storm.
That's
the only one you can see. Yeah, the rest of them you can't see. That Divine Storm takes up that whole greenhouse. We had to scrog net it, so the scrog net is 88 inches long by 4 foot wide, probably about 6 feet tall. So it's good size. My first and biggest greenhouse adventure with one plant.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to make sure that you got airflow on those plants. some fans and stuff in that greenhouse, and you'll be good to go.
Right on.
Then
Ooh,
thank
I'm
you,
just-
Cave Diver, for the $3.99. Appreciate that very much.
And
Make a kale smoothie.
Yeah, man.
Getting this day going.
Kale smoothie is like the opposite of my food habits, and I should definitely work on that.
kale's pretty bitter.
You know, I'm reading chat and I'm looking at Dirty QWERTY, and I think I have to agree is that Trop cookies and mimosa are replacing Agent Orange and TNG for the orangey cuts everyone seems to have. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the Trop cookies is basically just Tangy. Tangy dominated the Girl Scout cookies in the terp department, but the density and everything comes from the Girl Scout cookies, I think. So it together makes a great bud. I don't know if it's better than Tangy. I think it tastes very, very similar though.
No, but you don't see as many people holding the Tangy or the Agent Orange as you used to. You know what I mean?
Right. Agent Orange grows a lot bigger buds. I know that. I've never grown Tangy, so I can't talk about that one too much. It's always been on my list though, and now I have a couple orange because I was looking for them. I have the OKC and the Trop cookies, both taste about the same. So, very excited, especially about the one I took the pictures of. Trop cookies turned out very, very well.
Beautiful. They're great.
Now my hemp outdoors, boy oh boy, she's throwing about some 3-foot colas.
Shit.
They're just stacked right up, big old donkey dicks, man, blowing in the wind. Yeah, they're huge, man. They're huge. They're about 7 foot tall. But yeah, big old 3-foot colas just blowing in the wind. Love it.
It's like we need to unleash terror on those.
Yeah, hopefully there's a little bit. I see some trichome production on it, beginning. I don't know. The smell's not really what I was hoping for. Being cherry wine, we were hoping for some cherry terps, but it's pretty earthy just yet. But let's see what happens as it produces more trichome.
Steven says in the chat, you might have to whack them off.
Right, I will bring Tara over. She's the
That's
expert.
it, see?
Right up my alley.
Right.
Keep it-
He's the expert, he says.
I'm all right with the plants.
Are you laughing over there? That's pretty funny, huh?
We got a lot of yucks in the first 28 minutes of the show, guys. So I'm just gonna ride this until the wheels fall off.
Tommy says roots pop in the Trop cookie sour melon. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I think my Trop cookies died.
Rip in peace.
Yep, that's okay. I can grab it from Normish Micro. His survived. So
Yeah, I've got some
we'll
big.
definitely get it.
I got big clones of it.
Oh, right on. Maybe when I catch up with you.
Yeah, we'll make it happen one way
I
or
would love
another.
to get
Would you
that
consider
true
this
F2,
a-
man. That's huge.
Would you consider this a small clone? Like back in the day when you used to
Oh,
get
yeah.
some really good shit from somebody, they would give you just these little clippings from the end. There you go. On your way.
Depending on it depends on where you are in the cycle and what people are growing indoors. So like I grow perpetual indoors. So when I take indoor clones, they're usually really small, but when you can take outdoor clones, they can be pretty big.
The abolished farms method where you just cut an arm off and then get it to clone.
Yeah, I mean you can do it, but I grew that or I vegged it to flower it, so
It
cutting off
seems
the
like
whole-
I veg a lot bigger plants now that I'm growing perpetual too. Like and I think Scobo was saying prior to the show, he's got 4-foot tall plants. Hell yeah, I had a 5-foot tall plant. I just had to whack off and start over.
Had to pull
Because
the Terra OG.
it's too
on
damn
everything.
big, man. So, I took some clones yesterday and getting rid of it.
Well, the good thing is, so when you have those gigantic plants like that, is you're able to take really, really healthy cuts right off the top. You're able to almost shape the plant out right before flower. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I could just whack it off right here, and then I could whack it off there, and maybe whack it off over here too.
Hell yeah. And you know, it's funny too, because
That was a lot of build up to that joke, guys. Give me some fucking credit on that.
Right on. That was a good whacking off joke. My cloner is perpetual too now, so it seems. So I'll take cuts, and I got all these damn cups on top of my sink cell. Each one of them full of water and got labeled with what's in what cup, you know. And they're in transition on the way to the cloner, so it's always something, man. Love it.
Yeah, when you grow the perpetual, you always have something to do in the garden, which is nice. And it's always less work, which is nice too. When you grow the single cycles, you can have a little bit of downtime, but when you're busy, you are busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seem to find that when I was doing the monocropping, well, I was looking for that, you know, day 21, day 41 defoliations and stuff, you know. Now I forget about it. Like, man, oh shit, I got to defoliate today. But, you know, mainly we pick and defoliate daily. But yeah, you're right. You know, there's a lot more to do every day when you're growing perpetual than there is, you know, monocropping, where you're just sitting idle waiting for the next move.
Well, on the flip side of that too is that when you take down everything at once, you're really working really, really hard and against the clock for a few days, trying to bring things down, make sure that you have things hung up, and you know, it's good, but it's not good. One of the problems that you run into a perpetual is you have to really be diligent on your cleaning because the room is never like down. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to stay on top of your and I would say that if you really are one of those people, all of us have some kind of smartphone or something. So just get some kind of app to set it up to do reminders on shit. So when you put things into flower, you're like, okay, I want a reminder in 3 weeks to do this, and I want a reminder, you know, of 41 days to do that. So there's definitely ways to do it for yourself so that you don't miss the boat on something, especially when you get a larger space.
It's a learning curve.
Old school, I guess. You know, I have a dry erase calendar I use in there all the time. I write down, all right, I gotta label my plants so I know what's in flower, what week it's in flower. So I have like group A, B, C, blah, 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 and so on down the line. So I'll mark them out along that calendar, what day they are in flower, what week they are in flower, and what series of plants they are. So yeah, it's easy for me to plan ahead because I'll just mark ahead. All right, well, like yesterday was my plant therapy IPM day, so we'll run that down. So we know, hey, not today, tomorrow we'll write down, hey, we're gonna plant therapy this day. So we're always marking ahead, scheduling ahead, trying to stay on top of it because it's hard to catch up.
I also use a dry erase. My heroes that I learned to grow from on YouTube all used those back in the day. So like, shout out to Mr. Tight, McGrower1, and Hydro Hybrid. All those cats always did that shit. So I do. In fact, I even draw my bed. You know, I just have a rectangle in there with a little bar across the middle, and I just draw a little circle and put the initials in there of each plant because otherwise I will forget. You know.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to put plant label tags inside of a 4x8 bed. So what I do with mine is I slide them in. You know, you have the fabric wraps around the PVC. You have that spot. I can just slide the plant tag in right there and go from there.
Cool. I'm sure that's a good tip for somebody that's got one of those beds. I know that people never think about labeling pots or how they label them until they have to do it, and until they've like written on a pot on a tag with a marker that fades under their light, and then you don't know what the plants are anymore. Or written on a cup with a marker that washes off, and then you don't know what the plant is anymore. And yeah, it's definitely an unforeseen problem that I think growers have had before.
I love the tag system. Like when you tag around the bottom of a plant, and as the plant grows, you know, you just keep it big enough so it'll never run into it. I've always thought that was a cool way to do things.
Yeah, I just use a little. Well, I got a couple different variations of plant markers, but if after I write on them too many times, I'll just tape over them and keep relabeling them and reuse them and whatnot.
I use
And I always
medium
put,
painter tape.
yeah, I always put the day, the seed was, if it was from seed, the day it was sprouted, and that number transfers, when it was potted up to a solo cup, to a 1 gallon, to a 3 gallon, and so on. I keep track of all that on that little tag.
I was great with the painter's tape until I started using easy swap pots, and then I realized that the tape is not going to stick to that. So what I do,
to the easy swap pot tags, plant tags.
Oh, you leave your tags on them? Okay.
They send you some easy swap pot plant tags.
You know what those do is those slide perfectly in between the button and the edge of the fabric on one of your sides. So if you slide those in there, then you'll always know where your plant tag is, and you won't lose it by having it in the middle. So always slide those in the corner. I got all kinds of
I like those tricks.
weird tips that don't really help you do much of anything, but
Code MBGS, code abolished at easyswappots.com. Thank you for their support, sponsoring our show.
Good morning, Missy.
And definitely make sure that you go back and check out the last Bro Show Live when we had Brandon on from Easy Swap Pots. So it's always a good time hanging out and kicking with him.
I'm getting ready to put an order in myself, so I'm glad you said that. I've got to do that today.
Dirty Qwerty says paint river rocks and put them next to your plant stems. That's a good idea.
It's a really good one, too.
Because Michigan Bad Boy was saying he wrote on plant tags and they washed off outdoors this year. It's definitely a thing, and people don't. After, you've dealt with them washing off this year, I bet you'll have a better idea next year what to do. But, yeah, I've done that indoors. Written on a cup, a solo cup, and then had the lights just bleach the writing right off the cup. You get some off-brand marker or something.
Yeah, don't bite down on markers.
After I've grown out the strain so many times, my personal stuff that we grow a lot, I can just look at the plants and tell what they are. I don't even need a plant marker really. After
once you flower it, yeah, but
yeah.
You will lose track of them in veg, and then you can't clone them.
Right. That's one of your big.
How do you clone question mark plant?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really had a question mark plant. I was always pretty diligent about keeping that tag with it.
2 runs ago, I did. I had one that I forgot to tag when I cloned it, but I knew it was one of my keeper, so I flowered it anyway. And then once I flowered it, I knew that it was BDE, so I was just like, whatever. But just like you flower them and know exactly what they are. But it does put a little kink in the system when you can't clone it and know what it is.
Yeah, and it sucks when you don't take a clone of something because you weren't expecting something out of it.
Do you have something to talk about to that effect?
No. Hey man.
It's not story time with Dan time.
No, it's all good. Yeah, man. All right. Well, hey, man, I grew some Primal Punch F1. I had a seed pop out of it a while ago, a couple actually, 2 of them, and we sprouted those seeds and flowered one out. Turned out really, really good, but we didn't keep a clone yet. So it's just one and done. But it
was a good picture you took.
Really, really nice, man. It's nice, but. Yeah, so one and done, whatever. Back to whacking on.
I like growing them one and done, and it always seems like the last time you run a strain, when you're getting ready to cut it or whatever, it's the best you've ever ran it. And then you've got to debate whether or not that was the right choice or not.
I just went through that with a blueberry strain a few months back. But when I was chopping this down, I knew by the frost production on it and the bud density and the yield, I was like, man, should I re-veg this son of a bitch, And I debated it, and I left it, re-vegetable for about a day or 2. But then I thought, I just don't have time for that. And, it's work. Yeah, so it wasn't. If it really, really, really was special, it would have stayed.
Yeah, you'll know because you'll look in somebody's either clone dome or cloner, and you'll see a bud in there. It's Trey is mentioning in the chat that you can basically take a clone all the way up until harvest, and I tend to agree with that. It's just,
A little
it's
extra
how bad
work.
do you want it? Right. And it's going to
Yeah.
take extra time. It's not going to be a simple veg cycle. You're going to get it right back in there.
Yeah, it takes a little extra work, but it's worth it.
Yeah, because I have taken clones that, for day 7, 8, when you're in flower. All right, man, I got to take clones again and flower those out. And they'll still go through a change, you know what I'm saying, because they have that flower hormone in them already, or they're producing that. And then I've re-veg plants that have totally flowered. Now, those seem to take exponentially longer to change back than the ones that were just early flower when I took them. So that played a factor of, man, do I want to nurse this plant for 3 months just to get it back to being able to grow?
Right.
So I got an answer for that. And that is, in 6 months' time, will you look back and go, man, I really wish I had that, or is something else going to slide its spot on the
because
menu?
in 6 months' time, I'll be hashing.
See?
But you won't be hashing that.
No, that's all right though, because I have the F1, and the F1 is better, but this one was just a little different,
Different flavor or different structure?
The flavor was pretty close, man, but the structure was, really Gorilla Gluey on this one. Really Gorilla Gluey. I harvested it really early, so it was mostly white trichome, so it's real fucking speedy.
Sounds like some wake and bakes.
Yeah, man.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah, man. I just roasted a big old chubber of it. I'm just ready to do something.
There's no way I'd be able to sit still anymore. I'm barely sitting still with the sour melon. I'm like over
That's
here.
why you're bouncing around like that.
I'm over here bebopping away, burning calories.
Sequence.
Hey, dreaming about whacking off plants.
No, I'm not. Not dreaming about whacking off at all. No.
So funny.
I know. I'm always a good laugh.
That one's gonna have to stick
Shout out
around.
to the 67 people who tuned in to listen to us this morning.
At least I'm giving Missy a good laugh before work. Poor thing. We love you.
Dirty says wag off OG is gonna be your next cut. Rasta I've never tried to clone an auto, but I've seen it done. Yeah, I don't know what you would consider a success, but I've seen it done.
So what happens? Is it the same age as the plant? Does it go through any kind of thing? Will it flip back over and I can re-veg it and work it, or what's going on with that?
It seems like it will root and it'll keep flowering. There was somebody on Instagram, I can't remember their name, but they seem to do it. It seems like you can do it for a little bit. As long as you get them in veg, they'll veg a little bit longer, but they'll always be smaller than the parent plant was. So you can catch them in veg and they'll extend that time just a little bit, but they'll be like smaller every time.
There we go. I have never played around with the autos, so I'm not sure. That was always my thing that I was kind of a bummer about, was that, if I do find something I like, I gotta hope that there is a continuity between all of the seeds in the pack. So if I liked it, let's say we're talking about Anvil. Say I really liked Anvil this year.
It's a good one because they are all the same.
Right. So then I turn around and I buy a pack of Anvil the next year. I want to have somewhat replicatable results. So
yeah, I'm excited because every one of them was the same. So I am definitely going to grow those again and experience that same result over again. And that's really nice out of autoflowers because, like you said, it is hard to find.
And who is the breeder of the Anvil?
Mandalorian Genetics. So that's full duplex AFN on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to your dry nug macro shots of that. That's gonna look cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, when I got to see it in the greenhouse, I think I went from the GMO to the garlic storm, and then I beelined it for the anvil. I was just like, bing.
Oh, it's
Very
a great
awesome.
use of space.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, the
You
way
imagine the
laid
greenhouse if it was full of those, and he just had a series of 5-gallon buckets that had nothing but anvil in there. It'd be crazy, man.
Yeah, definitely laid out very well. I mean, to not, I don't know, I wouldn't know how to lay something, you know, I wouldn't know where to begin. And I think it's very, very well. Space is used well and very nice.
Well,
Very
the
nice.
autos are not scrog because they're small, but you're able to move those around in the aisle so that you can get in there and work on the plants. And, you know, you still have a decent airflow. And then in every aisle, what I liked is that they had it's like a shop fan, floor fan in each aisle blowing along that way as well. So
Yeah, along the floor.
yeah,
I would like to elevate them a couple feet so that they're blowing along like the
underside of the plant rather than the
the
pods.
legs of the plants. Yeah. So if I could pull that off, that's one of the things to do.
Now, do
But
you think your plants have rooted to the ground?
Oh, certainly. The
Okay.
autos did. The autos rooted through the fabric and stuff. So definitely, or at least into the fabric.
You know, we
Yeah, I
talked
was
about the
curious about
harvest.
that because I don't think we've talked about that.
They run off. It runs off through the fabric. So I would bet that the roots will follow it down. The plants are huge. The roots are huge. The roots are growing all the way up to the top of the soil too because we're mulching with the leaves. So it's really nice.
You gonna put anything in there to help break it down? Come harvest time, you're leaving the root balls intact.
Yeah, I'm going to leave all the root balls and everything in there. We're going to leave the pots in the greenhouse and heat the greenhouse. And then I believe the plan is to plant some autoflowers in there for this winter. So
Oh, nice.
there might be a bunch of anvil plants in there. Just a sea of them.
Have you guys talked about what you're going to possibly re-amend or top dress with at the end of the season to let break down and work through the winter?
Yeah, I want to re-amend with the craft blend. So that's what Spartan turned me on to. It's got a little bit of everything in there. And then we might add some more stuff too. But I think craft blend will get us pretty far as re-amending goes. The soil is still super rich, especially the soil we are taking out of the pots that the autos were in. We're building like a compost pile of it. It looks like soil that's never been used before. So
That's great.
Really high quality stuff. So I'm excited to work with it again. I think it'll work really well.
Stone.
See, Miss C says replanting those pots. That's what we want to do for sure. Autos can be inconsistent, Rasta K, but if you get them from a good breeder, they'll all be very consistent. So like the anvil, all of them were between, I would say, 3 and 5 feet, or maybe even 4 and 5 feet. And all of them were purple. All of them were the same density. And all of them had the same flower time. But those are also like F7 or F8 seeds, which is pretty unheard of in the auto game.
Now, how much was a pack of those?
Those seeds, I don't know what they retail for, so I can't quote that, but I knew the breeder, so
yeah, definitely hit him up on Instagram.
Yeah, they're worth it. Very nice.
Phenomenal looking plants. I mean,
well, they had a nice nose too. You know, Red and I were really drawn to those. You know, being big purple fans and stuff. And some of those had a Red wants to try the one because he thinks it's going to be like Girls Gone Wild. So that'll be sweet.
I think it will be too. And yeah, he'll definitely get a chance to try it. That's for sure.
The nose.
Tell him to come over and trim it.
Yeah. I mean, let's go back to the greenhouse for a minute. And let's say that you weren't reusing the soil. and these plants have grown through these fabric pots. Can you realize what kind of a horrible cleaning job that would have to be to rip all that shit out and dispose of all that? Oh man. I mean, nothing like putting $10,000 worth of dirt outside, right? It's done with it. One time, one and done.
Well, like 6.
Let's add all that recharge price in there too, and we're quickly gonna escalate.
Yeah, that's another $900. We did manage to use about half of a little over half of that bucket of recharge though. So that's pretty
Wow.
Do you even recharge, bro?
Well, we used a half a cup per barrel every day all summer and just stopped. So that's
I was gonna say you're stopping that now, aren't you?
2 cups a day of recharge. So that's pretty good. But yeah, we did stop the recharge because that pushes nitrogen. So now hopefully, like Trey said, the plants will whack themselves off.
Solo. Terry, you missed your cue.
Tell them I'm just chopping leaves off.
I can't type and listen to y'all at the same time. Shit. I'm stoned. Fuck.
So do you have a cover crop on that or no?
Just leaves. There's so many leaves you have to move them all to get to the soil. But they do mulch quick, so it takes about a week.
Breakdown. Yeah.
And then they're gone.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I'm put recharge on them a lot, and then so I'm sure there's tons of microbes, and then there's a lot of beneficial pest activity or beneficial bug activity.
Ninja Turtles.
Chewing on them, I'm sure.
Oh, 8 minutes
I think
before the hour.
Oh.
I count my outdoor flower at like day 29 or 30 on my calendar, on my dry erase calendar, according to the feed schedule. So that's where I'm assuming mine are in flower outdoors.
So if you're on day 29, what day do you think that you'll be?
I might be a little bit more advanced at the 45th parallel up here. What day? This one goes 63, 65 days. So.
Okay. So you should be able to make it out before the yeah.
Oh yeah. There should be no. I'll put a heater in there if we have to.
But you didn't water that all year with that nectar for nothing.
Exactly.
Oh my God! I'm running in that 25 gallon cocoa. I'm running right now week 5. I'm running 500 milliliters of Herculean Harvest in it every day.
Hey, baby.
Yeah, that 5 gallon I mixed up the other day at the Herbal Forest. That weekend was the first weekend I opened it. I got a gallon left. Holy shit! I having technical difficulties again. Some lag issues.
Well, you're sounding good to us.
Okay. No spillage issues. No fun stories.
I was not
too
bad.
bad.
Yeah,
I know.
Ask you.
Are you gonna have a general idea of like, even if you don't publicly release it, I'm curious in what the cost is of the nectar for your plant this year.
Yeah.
You know.
No.
You know.
I don't know.
You don't have to tell me where
I'm
your
always
wife's
ordering that stuff,
Right.
you know. But you know what? I don't feel I ever pay for it myself.
Right.
You know, I don't know. I believe in this product for what it is. It produces some pretty good medicine. I feel it's clean medicine in the end. It's a lot of work, dedication. I believe you're going to have to be committed to this line if you're going to run it. But it does produce some quality flowers. So to me, it's worth the cost for the quality I receive. Sure makes me look good.
I would agree with that. I mean, I think that everyone that grows with nectar is really happy with it. I know that you have to use a lot of it to keep that one alive. So,
And you know what? If you grow with nectar and soil, man, you can still do super great jobs, and not have to feed as much. I'm in cocoa. I'm pushing hard. I'm on a very, very aggressive feed schedule. So you don't have to push as hard as me, but um, you can get quality with minimal effort with nectar. They have a dry amendment called One Shot you can get, which is basically all their products, in a slow release dry form. You would just top dress every 3 to 5 weeks. Then during flower, you would add some supplemental bottles, but there's other ways to do it.
Well, I would say that nectar is probably one of the more common things that I see Growskis in general using. Is either that or Jackson the CalMag gang.
there's only me and Red. That's the only people I know that grow with Jacks.
I tell you what, though, if I was gonna switch growing styles, it would be Jack's.
Hey,
This is the way I would go.
it's good stuff, man.
Yeah, for simplicity, if I was going for simplicity and quality in the end, that's where I would go personally.
Let's be reminded, how much does it cost a gallon for Jack's?
4 cents per gallon of mixed water. So, like if you water with 20 gallons of water a day, it'd be 20 gallons times 4 cents.
80 cents. For less than a cup of coffee, you too can water your garden.
And a bottle of CalMag.
For the home grower level, I think Jack's is probably the most affordable. I've heard that if you can buy a pallet at a time, Floraflex is cheaper with discounts. But I mean, can't go through a bag of Jacks in a year, so a pallet of Floraflex would be insanity. So I would recommend it. It's as affordable as you can get.
Well, affordability doesn't have to. Here we go. Affordability doesn't have to come at the cost of quality.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys grow with it. Green Jeans Gardens grow with it. There's a lot of testimonials out there out for that product. So it is a quality superior product. I like it from what I've seen.
Jack's 321 to 750 ppms and water it 8 to 10 weeks in flower. Flush for about a week. Flushing doesn't remove nutrients from buds. Don't at me.
And the 4 cents a gallon is how much? Like, how many grams of that did you have to use?
So I'll use 6 grams total of nutrients per gallon. So 3 grams of A, 2 grams of B, 1 gram of Epsom salt. Shout out to my CalMag. And Epsom salt's magnesium sulfate. And then when I do my last flush and stuff, I'll leave the Epsom in the water. So the sulfur is in most of the flushing products, so all of the lines like Mechanicare, Advanced, etc. I decided to use that in my own thing. I don't know that Red does this as well, but I leave sulfur in my water when I flush. So I leave the Epsom in there, and it really works well.
So do you use any microbes?
I do not. There are people that use microbes, and Red uses microbes.
Tribus is what he uses.
Yep, Tribus. And I know that I think it's Impello Bio is the one that Jax pushes. So I don't know if it works better with Jax. I've never used it, but
interesting.
Yep.
We are coming up on 7 o'clock, folks.
We are. You can get the small containers of the Jax Dirty Qwerty. He's comparing the Veg Bloom to Jax, which I actually did. Veg Bloom was what I wanted to buy when I got led towards Jax and ended up choosing Jax over Veg Bloom. But you can also buy the very small containers of Jax. You don't have to buy the 25-pound bags of it for the full price or whatever. But that would be a little bit more expensive, I would think. I have to work today, so we're gonna do the show a little bit shorter. We're gonna cut it at 7 again today. We thank the chat for coming. Everybody's doing some final dabbage and smokage, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Tara, can you tell everyone where they can find you?
Thanks, you guys, for sharing time with us this morning. And you can find me at Tara Wilson 1409. I'm posting new stuff about my crazy grow I've got going on. It's always fun when you're messing with something I've got going on. Thanks, you guys. I really appreciate you guys. I hope everybody has a great day.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank you.
Tankman Dan, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me at 9 p.m. with the Michigan Bros Grows Show panel. You can find me here Thursday mornings, Wake and Bake with the Growskis, 6 a.m. Thanks, guys, for joining us this morning. And sorry about the technical difficulties earlier. You all have a great afternoon and enjoy your day.
Thank you, Dan. Skilbo, sir, what do you think?
Skilbo1 on Instagram, Skilbo17 on YouTube. I think it's been a pretty good morning. We've had a lot of laughs at Tara's expense, so that's always an extra good time. And I'm just glad to see everybody back for another show, and catch us again next week.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, High and Tight. Thank you, Cave Diver, for the donations to the show. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, panel. We'll see you again next week. We had 70